FCT Minister Yesun Wike inaugurates 5-kilometer road in Abuja. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare announces new presidential health fellow recruitment for LGAs in Nigeria. And federal government to raise the standard of abattoirs nationwide. A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5, Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Abdullah Hajia. First, let's begin from the FCT administration. The 5-kilometer Naharati River Okia Road project in the FCT has been completed and open for the motoring public and other road users. This fulfilled promise came to light at the official inauguration of the emergency road project by the FCT Minister Yesun Wike. Onozi Yakubu captured the mood of members of the benefiting community.
Precisely on the 5th of January 2024, this 5-kilometer alternative route to Abuja town was flagged off. And 1 year down the lane, the project has been completed with asphalts and 3 river bridges. The mammoth crowd reflects a dream come true. Stakeholders say the completion of the project is promise made and fulfilled, which will impact the lives of the residents of Abuja.
The completion of this 5-kilometer road project is highly significant because the settlement of Naharati has been linked directly to Abuja town for the first time. Furthermore, the road will also serve as a diversion in the event of sudden blockage of the main bridge on the Abuja local federal highway.
I have no doubt that rural road infrastructure forms the backbone of rural economics and contributes significantly to the overall development of our nation. Also, improved road networks such as this Naharati River access road connects rural producers to markets, enabling them to sell their goods at fair prices and access essential services more easily.
FCT Minister Yesun Wike reiterates his administration's stance at developing the satellite towns and area councils for the benefit of all residents.
I've told everybody who cares that while we are developing the city, we will also develop the satellite town. Throughout this week, from today till Friday, we will have devoted ourselves to commission of projects in the 6 area council, so that everybody will know that we are not only concentrating in the city. As we are developing the city, so also we'll be developing the satellite town.
Yesun Wike was bestowed with the traditional title of Hasken Abuja, meaning the light of Abuja. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's talk health now. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, has announced the launch of a mass recruitment exercise for young Nigerians across all the local government areas of the country under the Presidential Health Fellow Program recently approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Coordinating Minister says all eligible Nigerian youths must submit their completed application forms on www.healthfellows.ag on or before January 27, 2025, following which there will be a state-level multi-screening exercise in each local government area of the Federation. The minister further stated that the successful applicants who are selected as fellows will serve as accountability officers who oversees the ongoing construction of 8,800 new primary health facilities nationwide over the next few years, while ensuring the fiduciary integrity and operational excellence of each facility within their domains of responsibility.
To the most dynamic youth population on earth, young Nigerians, I say good day to you all. Our leader, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has been undaunted in his commitment to ensure that the future of our nation is secure, and as a consequence, he has prioritized the uplift and economic security of our young compatriots as central to all of our administration's efforts. It is in the determined pursuit of this all-important objective that I am pleased to announce
That was Professor Muhammad Ali Pasidi on the national broadcast. Now, the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development is working out modalities towards upgrading standards of abattoirs nationwide for enhanced processing of animal products and other industrial use. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Maiha, stated this when he undertook a facility tour at Abyss International Abattoir Gudu in the nation's capital. Yusuf Jika reports.
The ongoing construction of Abyss Farms Abattoir and Partners has all the needed automated state-of-the-art equipment that can accommodate slaughtering of 1,000 heads of cows, 6,000 goats and sheep, thousands of chickens for both domestic and export purposes. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Maiha, who was impressed with the state-of-the-art facilities, said government will deploy mechanisms to redesign and upscale the standard of abattoirs across the country to serve as a hub for meat processing driven by high hygienic standards.
We intend to come out with standard operating protocols for all abattoirs in the country.
The minister played host to the Brazilian ambassador to Nigeria, Carlos Garcete, pledging Brazilian commitment for a strategic partnership for improved livestock industry.
We want to cooperate with Nigeria, not only sell products to Nigeria.
Between the two countries during the G20 sideline meeting held in Rio, Brazil in November 2024. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Nigeria can attain economic prosperity when individuals, public and private entities, if individuals and private entities embrace agro-industrial initiatives in line with the global trend. That was the standpoint of stakeholders during the inauguration of soybeans oil refinery at CSS Global Integrated Farms in Gura Karu local government area of Nasarawa State. Muhammad Awalu reports.
Food security is one of the factors that stabilizes the economic situation in the country. In order to achieve the desired result, federal government encourages participation of individuals and corporate bodies in agriculture, industrialization, trade and investment, among others. In his quest to contribute to the economic growth of Nigeria, founder of CSS Global Integrated Farms, Professor John Kennedy Ofara, established soybeans oil refinery, which was inaugurated by President African Development Bank Group, Dr. Akiwumi Adishina.
We should also provide incentives for agribusinesses to support agricultural value chains from food production to processing, value addition, packaging, and market supply.
Security is a product of unemployment. And so if we're able to provide jobs for people in agriculture and we're able to produce enough food, we will contain insecurity and we'll be able to move the nation forward.
So we want to try to see how we can reduce the cost of food.
Former presidents of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, and his Sierra Leonean counterpart, Ernest Bai Koroma, acknowledged the effort and foresight of Ofara in creating job opportunities for Nigerian youth.
We must build this country, and we can improve the condition of things in this country that our youth will get jobs.
With success in agriculture, I believe Nigeria will not only be able to feed itself, but they will contribute substantially in feeding the sub-region, Africa, and the world.
As a government, we try to provide an enabling environment so that investors can come in and invest. And I believe that if all of us, the states, key into what our brother is doing, nobody would want to jump out from Nigeria.
Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, in a message, says the renewed hope enterprise of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is yielding positive results.
I believe the project will help in many ways. One of them is food security, which is one of the cardinal principles of our renewed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu renewed hope agenda.
The inauguration of the project tallied with the 56th birthday of the founder of CSS Global Farms, Professor John Kennedy. From Kefi, Muhammad Awalu, NTA News.
In line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu for the swift transfer of victims of the Suleja fuel tanker explosion to tertiary medical centers for enhanced medical attention, 20 patients have been admitted to Gwagolada Specialist Hospital in Abuja and 2 additional patients transferred to the Federal Medical Center, Jabi, Abuja. A statement by the Specialist Eastern Media to the Minister of Information and National Orientation says all the patients were accompanied by a nurse and family members to the designated referral centers to ensure seamless care. The statement equally conveyed that the Niger State government has expressed gratitude to the federal government for its prompt and effective response to the unfortunate incident. The Federal Minister of Information and National Orientation, he added, will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide timely updates to Nigerians. You're watching the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Still to come on the news. Boscos in the FCT benefit from the FCT Minister's School Infrastructure Revamp Initiative. This and more after the timeout.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news,
on the news at 7.
Jama'a barkanmu da wannan
The Niti Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now let's talk education. Most schools in the Federal Capital Territory are benefiting from the Minister Yusuf Wike's School Infrastructure Revamp Initiative. The initiative ensures that public schools in the territory have a conducive learning environment as a basic necessity. Hadiza Godwin Ebune visited Government Science and Technical College, Area 3, one of the benefited schools, and reports that both staff and students are pleased with their new environment.
One of the goals of the FCT minister to create a conducive learning and working environment for students and teachers in the FCT public schools have become a reality. At the Government Science and Technical College, Area 3, staff here say their classrooms and school environment have been given a facelift befitting of an institution where character and learning are being developed. These developments they add as translated into workplace comfort and satisfaction.
It was a whole school renovation work, and that simply means we have to take advantage of the new facilities for teachers to do more, for students to also settle, because the environment is looking more friendly, more encouraging to study. If you come out to the environment at night, we are giving 20 solar street lights, very bright. If you come here at night, you wonder which place is this, because the light had added more illumination to the environment. You see that the environment is looking so wonderfully illuminated, especially when there is no NEPA light. You see the place, look at which place is this? So the whole environment is brightened up through the solar street lights.
The boarding school staff and students appreciate the new changes that government reform has brought to their school, especially the new nighttime lighting of their school.
We can read more, don't time to even take break. The fan is cooling our head while the teachers are teaching. So now we can easily be comfortable in the classes.
Before, in the afternoon, it will not be possible for us to come to pray because the class used to look scattered and all that. But now, the classes were arranged.
Some of the activities we don't used to do before, we started doing it. Some of the practical that used to take place before, it started happening, and then the school became, because we renovated the school for us, so the school became a better place for us actually.
Before the renovation took place, we were not using this kind of board when we came to the school. We were using the normal board with black marker, but now this time is okay. And now we have comfortable libraries, comfortable labs that we can perform our chemistry, practicals, and a lot of things. Both the teaching has also improved.
According to the FCT administration, more schools, especially in the Netherlands, will be added and benefit from the ongoing renovations. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
On May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu assumed office, outlining his primary foreign policy objective to secure the best possible outcomes for Nigeria in its international engagements and restore peace and stability in West Africa and the African continent. In this review, Aisha Bashir examines the milestones and challenges in Nigeria's foreign policy thrust in the year 2024.
To begin, Africa has witnessed military coups since August 2020, with experts attributing this trend to democracy's struggles to deliver inclusivity, stability, and development across the continent. Despite these challenges, the prevailing consensus remains that democracy is essential for good governance, stability, and development in Africa, and for this to be effective, foreign relations through efforts if missions remain critical in fostering bilateral goals.
If we focus, and broaden our relationship with them, fund it, because diplomacy is not cheap. The technology, the transfer of technology that we are going to witness in this country, the kind of collaboration, the kind of businesses that we're going to bake in Nigeria, you'll be shocked that foreign affairs alone can fund our national budget. So if you spend 1.5 trillion naira on foreign affairs, I can tell you straight off, It's not a waste.
Nigeria's foreign policy has traditionally focused on Africa as a regional power with core principles including African unity and independence, peaceful settlements of disputes, non-alignment, and regional economic cooperation and development, according to experts who give perspectives to this.
What we can say is it is very important. Whatever we allow in our foreign missions should be something that secures our country, secures our borders, and grant us the cordiality that we have been having, especially with our neighbors.
It's all about Nigeria's national interest, about African integration, about international cooperation, and most importantly, respect for international treaty obligations.
In the year under review, Nigeria played a central role in promoting regional economic integration, particularly through its participation in ECOWAS. Moving forward, it is planned that foreign policy will first be directed at working to enhance Nigerian and African development in order to halt the circle of depending and boost trade through economic cooperation. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, one person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Of course, Sports Brief is our next stop.
Heartland Queens Football Club has announced the acquisition of 18 new players to strengthen their squad in the ongoing 2024-2025 Nigeria Women's Football League season. The new signees, scouted and recruited from various clubs across the country, have been put through rigorous screening and testing process to ensure they meet the high standards required by the club. Some of the newcomers will be featuring for the club on their Matchday 2 clash against reigning league champions Edo Queens this Wednesday. Talking cricket, Nigeria's junior female Yellow Greens secured their first win at the 2025 ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup in Malaysia, defeating New Zealand by 2 runs. This marked their long-awaited debut after their initial match against Samoa was delayed due to rain on Saturday in Sarawak. With Sports Brief, Francis Kabile, NTA News.
Many thanks for joining us on the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Do join us at 7 for more news. I am Abdullah Hajia. Good afternoon.